The Ibans are a branch of the Dayak peoples of Borneo. In Malaysia, most Ibans are located in Sarawak, a small portion in the east coast of Sabah and some in West Malaysia. They were firstly but now formally known during the colonial period by the British as Sea Dayaks, especially in the Saribas and Skrang regions, which are near the coastline, and thus they had gone on expeditions along the coastline up to the Kapuas River Delta in the south and the Rajang River Delta in the north. However, those Ibans that had migrated and lived inland to upper Rajang River region was further upriver and did not really go downriver to the sea as often, but they became into contact with local tribes such as the Baketan, Ukit and Kayan. It is believed that the term Iban originates from the Iban's own formidable enemy, the Kayan, who called the Sea Dayaks in the upper Rajang River region that initially came into contact with them as Iban. The Kayan mostly lives in the central Borneo region and migrated into the upper Rajang River and thus went loggerhead with those Ibans who migrated from the upper Batang Lupa region and Kapuas River. In fact, those Sea Dayaks in the Saribas and Skrang regions initially resisted being called Iban and insisted to be called Dayak, but somehow the term Iban increasingly becomes popular later on after the European starts to frequently uses this term. Ibans were renowned for practicing headhunting and tribal territorial expansion, and had a fearsome reputation as a strong and successful warring tribe in the past. Since the arrival of Europeans and the subsequent colonization of the area, headhunting gradually faded out of practice, although many tribal customs, practices and language continue. The Iban population is concentrated in Sarawak, Brunei, and in the West Kalimantan region of Indonesia. They live in longhouses called rumah panjai. Nowadays, most of the Iban longhouses are equipped with modern facilities such as electricity and water supply and other facilities such as roads, telephone lines and the internet. Younger Ibans are mostly found in urban areas and visit their hometowns during the holidays. The Ibans today are becoming increasingly urbanized while retaining most of their traditional heritage and culture. Ibanic subgroup and language. Although Ibans generally speak a dialect which is mutually intelligible, they can be divided into different branches which are named after the geographical areas where they reside. Majority of Ibans who live around the Lundu and Samaritan region are called Saribas. Ibans who settled in areas in Syrian district are called Remans. They may be the earliest Iban group to migrate to Sarawak. Ibans who originated from Sri Aman area are called Balas. Ibans who come from Betong, Saratok and Amp parts of Sariki are called Saribas. The original Iban Lubok and Ibans are classed by anthropologists as Ului, Batangai Ibans. Ibans from Undap are called Undap Ibans. The dialect is somewhat a cross between the Ului dialect and Amp, the Balau dialect. Ibans living in areas from Sariki to Miri are called Rajang Ibans. This group is also known as Binik Sedik Iban. They are the majority group of the Iban people. They can be found along the Rajang River, Cebu, Kapit, Balaga, Kanavit, Song, Sariki, Bintanggup, Bintulu and Miri. The dialect is somewhat similar to the Ului Lubok and Tu dialect. In West Kalimantan, Iban people are even more diverse. The Kanto, Taban, Sambuang, Sabaru, Bugsu, Mulang and Amp, along with many other groups, are classed as Ibanic people by anthropologists. They can be related to the Iban either by the dialect they speak or the customs, rituals and Amp, the way of life, religion and beliefs. The Ibans' ancestors since 100 years ago were traditionally animist pagan. Since the occupation by British explorer James Brooke, many has been influenced and converted to Christian by European missionary. Although the majority are now Christian, many continue to observe both Christian and traditional ceremonies, particularly during marriages or festivals. Some of the ancestors' practice, such as marring, are still prohibited by certain churches. After being Christianized, the majority of Iban people have changed the traditional name to a Hebrew-based Christian name, such as David, Christopher, Janet, Magdalene, Peter and Joseph, but the minority still maintain the traditional Iban name or a combination of both, with the first Christian name followed by a second traditional Iban name such as David E. Kanam, Christopher Chang E. Janet Lena and Joseph Jelling. The longhouse of Iban Dayaks, constructed in such a way to act as an accommodation and a religious place of worship. The first thing to be erected during the longhouse building is the Tiang Pemun, from which the Punramu is determined and followed along the longhouse construction. Any subsequent rituals will refer to the Tiang Pemun and Punramu. Iban religion and pantheon. The Iban religion involves worshipping and honoring at least 4 categories of beings, i.e., the supreme god called Patara and his 7 deities, the holy spirits of Orangpang, Sulibao and Jelong, the ghost spirits and the souls of dead ancestors. Some Iban categorizes these gods into beings from the sky, which refers to goods living in the sky, from the treetops, which refers to omen birds, Aritana, which refers to auguries, snakes and animals, and Ariai, from the water, which refers to fishes. The supreme god is called Bunsupatara, sometimes called as Rajantala or even Tuhan Alatala in modern times. The Iban calls this supreme god, who creates the universe, by the 3 names of Sarajadi, which makes the water, Sarajinda, which makes the land. There are 7 main Pataras of Iban Dayaks who act as the messengers between human beings and God. These deities are the children of Raja Jembu and her children of Raja Barong. The names are as follows: Sengalang Barong as the god of war for protection and sustenance. Bhikkhu Bunsupatara as the high priest, Sempulangana as the god of agriculture along with his father-in-law Samaruga as the god of land, Salempandai, Salempeta, Salempito as the god of creation and procreation, Menjai Manang as the god of health and shamanism, being the first Manang Bali, and Amara as the god of wealth, Iandan, Ini as the natural-born doctor and the god of justice. In addition to these gods, there are mystical people, namely the Orangpang, Sulibao and Jelong, with the most notable ones being Keling and Laja, and Kumang and Lulong, who often help the Iban Dayaks to be successful in life and adventures. Other spirits are called Bunsujelu, Antu Utai Tumbo, Antu, such as Antu Jarazi and Antu Menoa. These spirits can be helpful, cause sickness or even madness. The souls of dead ancestors are invoked by the Iban when seeking the blessings and showing respects for the souls, usually during Gawa Iantu and when visiting their graves. Stages of Iban propitiation. Amazing in 1981 and Sandan clearly categorize Iban's propitiation and worshipping into 3 main successive stages of increasing importance, complexity and intensity, i.e., Bidara, Gawa and Gawa. Bidara can be divided into Bedara Mata if the service is performed inside the family room, and Bidara Mansau where it is carried out at the family gallery. Other specific marring rituals are called Minta Ujin, Minta Panis, Berenshua Mudas, Musha Menua, Pelazia Menua, Jenselan Menua, and Narsitana. Other Bedara marring ceremonies include Makai Dai Ruai, Nyayanka Asi, Sandai Ari and Inchabo Arong. Gawa includes all the medium-sized rites that involve normally one-day and one-night ritual enchantation by a group of bards such as Gawa, Bintu Intu and Gawa Tua. There are various types of Gawa Bintu Intu such as Timang Sukat, Timang Bulus, Timang Bulo Ayu, Timang Pangang, Timang Pang, and Timang Angkuni. As this category of rites involves mainly Timang, it is also normally called Nimang. Gawa Tua has two subgroups called Nimang Ngiga Tua and Nimang Namaka Tua. Gawa comprises 7 categories of festivals which mostly involve ritual enchantation by a group of Lemambang bards that can last several to 7 successive days and nights. These categories are namely Gawa Bumai, Gawa Amat, Asal Gawa Barong, Gawa Tuat, Gawa Lalabi, Gawa Sakit, Gawa Antu and Gawa Ngar. Iban piring are ritual offerings. The Iban Lika piring, which is the number of each offering item, is basically according to the single odd numbers which are piring 2 rune 3, 5, 7 and 9. Lika piring and Agih piring is dedicated to each part of the longhouse bilik such as bilik 4 corners, Tanju, Ruai, Benda Beris, etc. as deemed fit and necessary. The rule on how to choose the Lika piring according to its purpose is as follows. Lika piring 3 piring Ampan, Saluvak. Lika piring 5 piring Minta, Naring Befalai. Lika piring 7 piring Gawa Bujang Barani. Lika piring 8 piring Nyangkong. Lika piring 9 piring Nyangkong Turu. Lika Lebiari 9 piring Turu. The basic items for the piring offerings include at least the following items: betel nuts, siri leaves, sedi leaves and kapu chalk, cigar leaves and tobacco, penganan, senupat, sungkoi, asi pulat panzer, tumpi, asi manas, hard-boiled chicken eggs, q1 and sarang semut, rend let up and tui. All these ingredients are put onto plates or woven baskets made of bamboo or rattan. The genselon is normally made in the form of a chicken or a pig depending on the scale of the ceremony. For small ceremonies e.g. bird omens, chickens will be used, while bigger occasions such as animal omens, pigs will be sacrificed. The chicken feathers are pulled and smeared into the blood of the chicken whose throat has been slit, and the chicken head may be put onto the main offering plate. For festivals, one or several pigs and tens of chickens may be sacrificed to appease the deities invoked and to serve human guests invited to the festivals within the territorial domain of the feast chief. Iban conversion to Christianity. There are several reasons why many Iban and other Dayaks turn to Christianity. The traditional augury causes some complexity with many penti pemali, various omens, superstitions and delays in some works and progress of life. The healing by manangs are not effective in curing some diseases. In fact, the manangs cannot cure smallpox, cholera, dengue, etc. Christianity is considered as new branch of knowledge to be adopted and adapted to the traditional customs and way of life that led to realization that old bad practices such as headhunting is self-destructive to the Dayak race survival as a whole. Christianity comes with Western education which can be used to seek employment on sojourns and upgrade living standard to escape poverty. Defeats of Dayaks at the hands of Europeans with better weapons such as guns and cannons vis-a-vis traditional handheld weapons such as swords, shields, spears and blowpipes despite strict adherence to traditional augury practices. Some Ibans consider Christianity as an extension of human knowledge because it can accommodate some of the traditional practices e.g. Some the ritual festivals can be celebrated in the Christian ways. Some churches and pastors prohibited Christian Iban to practice their ancestors' traditional custom ceremonies such as marring. Marring ceremonies are performed to honor the Pitara spirits and ancestors and always associated in atheism. Therefore, any form of ceremony that offering others God is prohibited by Christianity, but the people take it easily and mutual understanding between individuals' ethics is concerned. For the majority of Ibans who are Christians, some Christian festivals such as Christmas, Good Friday, Easter, and other Christian festivals are also celebrated. Most Ibans are devout Christians and follow the Christian faith strictly. Since Christianity conversion, some of the Iban people never celebrate their ancestors' festivals such as Gawa Ibarong or Gawa Iantu, but majority still practices Gawa Dayak, which is generic in nature and preserves their ancestors' culture and tradition. The majority of Iban Christians had changed the name to English or Hebrew name, and some will never celebrate Gawa Dayak at all. However, some Iban festivals can still be celebrated in the Christian ways like Gawa Ianto, Gawa Umai, Gawa Ilanabi, by offering prayers to their ancestors' God. The original Iban Dayaks religion of animism, where traditional foods and drinks are offered and then traditional music and dance are played for merry-making. The Ibans have no restriction in celebrating all customary and traditional Iban festivals. Despite the difference in faiths, Ibans of different faiths help each other during Gawas and Christmas. Differences in faith is never a problem in the Iban community. The Ibans believe in helping and having fun together. Some elder Ibans are worried that among most of the younger Iban generation, the culture has faded since the conversion to Christianity, where they are too excited to follow the Western way of life. Culture. Adat Iban, a customary law among the main sections of customary adat of the Iban Dayaks according to Benedict Sandan, which are used to maintain order and keep peace, are as follows: Adat Beruma, Adat Melapinang, Butang Ngau Sarak, Adat Baranak, Adat Buma and Baguna Tana, Adat Nayasu, Adat Ngasu, Berikan, Nombua and Napang Meni, Adat Tebalu, Natas Ulat Ngau Basararak Bungai, Adat Bagawa, Adat Idup Diruma Panjai, Adat Batanan, Main Lama Karjat Ngau Tabo, Adat Baburong, Bemumpi Ngau Bekanaga Ati Babi, Adat Belalang Tau Kabef Halai, Ibans Tungu with Tajitsu equals value 1 Uta equals 25 cents. 1 Menu Call equals 50 cents. 1 Jabir equals $1. 1 Panding equals $2. 1 Alas equals $4. 1 Alas Narang equals $5. 1 Alas Rajang equals $6. 1 Alas Beaten Dog equals $7. 1 Rusa equals $8. 1 Minaga equals $16. 1 Ninka equals $32. Types of Tungu with the weight of paddy equals dollar equivalent before 1980s equals dollar equivalent now. 5 Kati equals $3.60 equals $5. 10 Kati equals $7.20 equals $10. 20 Kati equals $14.40 equals $20. 30 Kati equals $21.60 equals $30. 1 Picula Tam equals $28.80 equals $100. The Tuik Iban rice wine Tuik is originally made of cooked glutinous rice mixed with homemade yeast for fermentation. It is a wine used to serve guests, especially as welcoming drinks when entering longhouses. Nowadays, there are various kinds of Tuik made with rice alternatives such as sugar cane, ginger and corn. However, these raw materials are rarely used unless available in large quantities. Tuik and other types of drinks can be served on several rounds in a ceremony called Nai Bertemu Iazayas, Ibasukaki, Ibasa and Iantong. Another type of a stronger alcoholic drink is called Langka, which contains a higher alcohol content because it is actually made of tuik, which has been distilled over fire to boil off the alcohol from the tuik, cooled down and collected into containers. Iban omens and augury. The augury system for the Iban Dayaks depends on several ways to obtain indicative omens for decision-making and action. Taking dream to present charm gifts as sumpa by spirits, which normally has a longer lifetime effect. Omen animals such as deer barkings, which also has lifetime effects. Omen birds, which give temporary effects limited to certain activities at hands, e.g. that year of farming. Pig liver divination at the end of certain festival to read the future luck. Areca nut blossom flower after Pelin healing ceremony. Nampoka betapa. The omens can be either purposely sought via dream during sleep, Langkau barong. Pig liver divination and seclusion, isolation, are received unexpectedly, especially the animal and bird omens, e.g. while working at farms or walking to enemy country. The omen birds of Iban Dayaks are 7 in total, namely, Ketupong, also known as Jalua Kakare or Entais, Berigai, Pangkas on the right hand of the Sengalang Borong's Longhouse Bilik and Bijampong, Imburas, Kelabu Papau and Nandak. The types of calls, flights, places of hearing and circumstances of the listeners are factors to be considered during the interpretation of the bird omens. The Iban Dayaks used to believe in having charms, namely Ubat, Pengaro, Empelias and Engkaraban, given by gods and spirits to help them to get things like rice and jars easily, to make them kebble, unseen to human eyes, or to make them extraordinarily stronger than other men whose attributes are wanted for rice farming, head hunting and other activities. For ladies, the charms will help them to be skillful in weaving. Likamena traditional poetry. The recitation of Pantin and various kinds of Likamena is a particularly important aspect of festivals. Any ordinary persons can recite poetry for entertainment and customary purposes, but sacred incantations to invoke deities are only recited by specialists, which are either a Manang, a Lemambang, a Tukang Sabak. According one Iban scholar, the Likamena for Iban Dayaks can be categorized into 3 major groups, i.e. Likamena Pemerindang, Likamena Adat Basa and Likamena Invocacion. The entertaining Likamena includes Pantin, Juam, Sanga, Ramban, Entela, Insera, Kanat, Palandai Ara, Palandai Karong. I can admit, the customary Likamena comprises Jaku Ansa, Jaku Jeliga, Tanya Indu, Mukakuta, Mukakujak, Jaku Karong, Jaku Dalam, Jaku Sempama, Jaku Silap, Sugi Samain, Rinong Samain, Rinong Sabong, Rinong Kairsu, Rinong Nayap, etc. The invocation Likamena consists of Sampi by Denjang, Timang, Pengap, Sugi Sakit, Rinong Sakit, Sabak Babu Rasung Kopa Rugan. These invocatory incantations must be accompanied with paring to appease the gods invoked during the festival. The incantation can last the whole night of the festival, and the next morning a pig is sacrificed for divination of its liver, which is interpreted to forecast the luck, fortune, health and success of the feast host and his family in the future. Eben Calendar. The Eben Calendar is 1 month ahead of the Roman calendar as follows. First month, called Bulan Pankadai Labu, which is December, when paddy starts to ripen. Second month, called Bulan Empalirubai, which is January. Third month, called Bulan Empraga Empikap, which is February when harvesting starts. Fourth month, called Bulan Leling, which is March when sojourner journey begins. Fifth month, called Bulan Turun Pangal, which is April when farming is initiated. Sixth month, called Bulan Sandi Tundan, which is May, during which felling commences. Seventh month, simply called Bulan Tuju, which is June. Eighth month, called Bulan Belanggang Riban, which is July, which is the drying season. Ninth month, called Bulan Kelabon, which is August when burning and dibbling start. 10th month, called Bulan Laburbeni, which is September when dibbling continues. 11th month, called Bulan Gantung Sendak, which is October when most Iban finish padia rice. 12th month, called Bulan Chechangak, which is November when weeding is completed.